Welcome, friends and fans, to another episode of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, it's Morphin time with one of the original Power Rangers, and now is the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for her. Immediately after this session, you will have the opportunity to talk to her directly through our private chat options, as well as purchase personalized recordings and autographs, all of which are available right now at GalaxyCon.com. So without further ado, let's bring out today's guests. She is an actress, singer, songwriter, and director whose credits include Felicity, The Division, Flashpoint, and as a director, she has made several short and feature-length films, including The Space Between, and most recently, Tamis Always Dying. She is most renowned, of course, for her role as Kimberly Ann Hart, the original Power Ranger and Ninja Ranger. Please welcome Amy Jo Johnson.
It's me.
It's you!
Hi.
Oh, how are you, young lady? How are you doing in your part of the world?
I'm good. I'm in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been okay. I've been writing a lot, and I've been playing my piano and singing and just sort of hunkering down in my own little world and bubble. How are you?
Oh, I am good in my part of the world. I'm in Central Florida, so everybody stepped out for a little bit, and now we're all going back in. And you know what? We are going to get through this. Yeah. I absolutely believe that we're going to get through this. It's not going to be as fast as we all want it to be, but I have confidence that we will be able to tell our grandkids about this someday.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely time to hunker down still.
Indeed. And as much as we miss, I miss the live shows, as I know you do as well. We miss having you on our stages and putting you in front of your fans in person. But we have this wonderful electronic forum. We have our virtual stage. So I know. So I would love for our audience who may not know, how did Power Rangers begin for you?
Oh, right. We're doing a Q&A. I forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, like a thing.
We'll go all around.
We'll go all around. So Power Rangers, that was my first acting gig. Mm-hmm. And I had just moved to Los Angeles. I went to school in New York for about a year and a half. And then I drove my car cross country with a boy at the time. Ooh. And it was 6 months after I got to LA that I had an audition for Power Rangers. And I got it. And it was my first acting job.
6 months is not a bad turnaround for Hollywood adventures.
No, and I actually had moved. I decided I was done, and I moved back home. But the night before I moved, I met this older gentleman named Walter Rainey, who sort of filled my brain with, or my head with, like, oh, you're gonna be a star. You have it. You know, like. It was in the Hollywood Diner too, which now does not exist anymore. Mm-hmm. And I went home just like going, wait, what am I doing? And I went back and I got Power Rangers 2 weeks after I got back to LA.
Wow.
So I almost quit, but then I didn't.
We're absolutely glad you didn't. And Power Rangers, it was a success, but when did you and your peers begin to realize that maybe it was exceeding expectations?
You know, okay. I didn't realize the impact. Obviously, nobody would be able to. Yeah. The impact that it would have on these kids who are now adults until the last 5 years for me. I've just felt it and seen it at the conventions. I've made 2 feature films with the help of all of these people that have supported my career. While we were actually shooting the show, I think we'd shot the pilot, we'd shot a few episodes. It hadn't come on the air yet, but as soon as it went on the air and we went to go do some personal appearance at, I think,
the Universal Studios. Yeah, Walters told me that adventure.
And we come pulling up in this bus, and the bus could hardly even get through to get there because the line was like down the highway. And it was like, what is happening? And then we had to do, I think, 7 shows that day for I don't know how many thousands of people. And it was very overwhelming, Patty. And I actually had nightmares that night when I got home.
Oh.
Because I had always thought that I wanted to be famous and always thought that I wanted to be an actor on TV. And then when the reality took hold and actually in this amphitheater, these people are screaming and stuff. I was only, I think, 21.
Yeah.
It was very overwhelming for me. And I was like, oh, do I really want this?
Yeah, that's a fair thing, because musicians, rock stars, whatever, they have a natural evolution. They're playing the small venues, they get bigger and bigger. You really went from this bubble to this enormity, and I can't fault you for being a little daunted.
Spandex.
Yes. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, I think Austin, who was here a few weeks ago, he said that you had made the nightly news, the national news. You had shut down the highways in Los Angeles on that Universal job.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. And I remember we had our helmets on, and they had it so that we came out on this platform, and then we'd pull our helmets off, and then the amphitheater, everyone would scream like we were rock stars or something. And then we'd flip off of this thing and then start running around the stage. And I never in my life, I was like, what? I had never done theater. You do a lot of theater, right?
Fair amount.
Yeah, I hadn't really done much theater. So it was a lot.
Yes, it was. But it certainly cemented you, and certainly you kept on with the show, and you didn't say out. You went on and continue to do more work. Did a great Turn in Felicity, a show I was not the target demographic of, but for whatever it's worth, I was a big fan of Flashpoint.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you know what? Flashpoint actually brought me to Toronto, where I live now, and I loved doing that show. I'm gonna get real honest with you, Patty. For years as an actor, I felt very insecure, and I was floundering about in Hollywood trying to get my footing and figure out what I wanted to do. And when I turned 35, I got out of there, and I moved my entire life on a whim to Montreal. And I thought I was going to quit acting, quit the business. And I got this call for an audition to do Flashpoint, and that brought me to Toronto. And through that experience on that show, I actually found my my confidence and my footing. And I actually had Francesca, my daughter, during that time, and I discovered that I really wanted to write and direct during that time as well.
That was something I want to lead on to. And for anyone who's never seen Flashpoint, I believe it is available. What I admired about that show was that it involved a special response team, but their first go-to was always to talk. It was always to negotiate before that way too. And I think that's relevant today, and we'll leave it at that. But certainly, what was the impetus and the inspiration for directing?
Like I said, I think acting wasn't really my passion. I thought it was, but as soon as Flashpoint ended and I decided to write a short film and direct it. It's called Bent. You can watch it on YouTube if you want.
We shall.
And as soon as I had a taste of what it was to be on a set directing, I knew in that moment, oh my God, this is all I want to do with my life. Right. This moves me. This makes me passionate. This gives me confidence, actually. So then I've done 3 short films, and my second feature just came out like a month ago.
Yes, it did. Tell us about that, because that looks like a very interesting story.
So it's called Tammy's Always Dying. It stars Felicity Huffman, and it's about and this woman, Anastasia Phillips. And it's about a girl, actually, it's about a woman who threatens to jump off a bridge once a month to keep her daughter tethered to the town that they live in. It sounds very heavy, and it is. It is a dark comedy. Yeah. My friend Joanne Sarrazin wrote it. I went to the Canadian Film Center to study directing, and I met her and fell in love with her screenplay for very cathartic reasons. For cathartic reasons. Sure. I just wanted to tell this story. So it's out there right now. It's on iTunes. It's on Amazon. It's on any streaming VOD platform right now. You can rent it. I'm quite proud of it. I think it came out really well.
I think we should all definitely check that out. And yes. What's I again, this is the first time I'm hosting you, but I have seen you at your tables at the shows, and I have always noticed that you really, really, really give each of your fans the time and the energy, and you give them that wonderful moment. What's been your fondest memory of being involved with Power Ranger history?
Oh wow. Comes to my mind first is David Yost. I just love that man. He's like family now. I look back at my career at all the different roles I've done, and I think it's the camaraderie, right, and the friendships that you make when you're working together. And so for me, with Power Rangers, I really value my friendship with David a lot. Other than that, and everybody on the show, but particularly David, it was, again, my first acting job. It was my first gig. So I learned so much. The learning curve was very huge for me. I didn't know how to hit a mark. I didn't know how, there's a certain way that an actor needs to be respectful to the other people making the show. Being a director now, I realize I'm like, oh my God, those damn actors. But sometimes you think it's all about you. It's not. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. But I did learn a lot. I learned a lot of that stuff, though, right? Like,
no, there's an interesting thing about it, I do believe that being on one side of the camera for a long time gives you so much insight into the other side. Yep. And I've often joked that I think more directors need to act.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so I did the opposite, right? And I think spending, 25 years on a set as an actor was my schooling to becoming a director, and innately knowing, where the camera should be, or the camaraderie that happens within the community of an on-set experience. Like all of that stuff, I, innately have built within me just from being an actor, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you keep any mementos from the Power Ranger years? Anything from the set, or is there a closet somewhere with a couple of your action figures still in there?
You know what? My closet upstairs, I have some figures in there, but not from then, but from the Comic-Cons. People like to give me their treasures. And I don't understand why, because they're theirs, but there's a few that I've just really loved. And I have a little pink Power Ranger section in my closet. And I have a couple helmets downstairs too, but they're not the original helmets.
Well, yeah, you have a way too. What was it?
Should I go get my helmet?
It's your show. If you want to run and grab a helmet, I won't say no.
Hang on, guys. I'm getting my helmet.
All right.
I forgot who made this for me.
Yeah? Ooh, this is exciting. Hey, everybody, just to let you know, we'll get to questions in a little bit, but if you would like to chat with our guest like I am now, like I said, sign up at GalaxyCon.com and you can get a private one-on-one chat with Amy, as well as you can get autographs or personalized shout-out messages, and we'll get more details on that. Oh, she got a little pink bear.
I really like this guy. Someone gave me that. Love it. And then somebody made me this.
Oh my goodness. That's quality. That's really quality.
Yeah, it's really fun when I have like new friends or whatever come over my house and then they see this downstairs. I had this one friend go, oh, Amy Jo. And I'm like, it's not the original. Like, okay.
What?
Sitting on my bookshelf.
What's it like to meet someone who does not know you from Power Rangers and then they discover?
Yeah, that does happen a lot. I don't know. It's like it happens. It happens so much that I don't really know what it feels like. It's like I guess it's kind of like, oh, that's an interesting tidbit about Amy Jo. She was a Power Ranger.
Very nice. Very nice. Very cool, very cool. And besides all your other creative pursuits, you are also a songwriter and musician.
I am.
Ooh, would you like to do you have something for us?
Thanks for asking.
Okay, you're welcome.
I just happen to be sitting at the piano.
That's right, you are.
I would love to sing you guys a song. Is that okay? And then we'll do like a Q&A or something?
If we could hear the audience right now be...
Yeah! Look, and I'll put my little bear right here. It's latched too. Okay, you know what? During this whole pandemic, I have been sitting at this piano and playing a lot of music. So I'm just going to play a song because it's like something I love to do. Okay, here we go, guys. Someone told me long ago there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. You know this one? When it's over, it's all the same. It will rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen rain coming down on a sunny day? Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, and I'd wait for all my time till forever on it goes through the circle, fast and slow. I know I can't stop. I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day?
Woo! Woo!
Yeah! You could have joined in, Patty.
Oh no! I may be an actor, but I am no singer.
You don't sing.
I sing like a triceratops sinking into a tar pit.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't sing then.
Yeah, you didn't want me to. But what I will do is I'll be glad to read off our questions from our audience. Our producer, Vindette, has said we've got some really good ones, so let's roll it. And our first one comes from Carrie, and she wants to know, how was it filming the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie?
Oh, that was a blast. Because we shot that in Australia. So that was one of my first trips on my own overseas. I think I was 22, 23. And we were there. We ended up being there for like 6 months because we shot the movie, and then we had to go back and reshoot it again because they switched the Delcias. So there was like a ton of reshoots. So we were in Australia forever. But we had a blast. We were in Sydney, and it was definitely an adventure.
Definitely. Carrie, thank you. That was a great one. What do we have next? From Nathan, how is it like to come back to do the Turbo movie and knowing you were going to be a villain?
You know, anytime on Power Rangers that they here, let me turn my thing off. Gave me something to do that was more like switching places with David Yost, or the Power Punks episode, or when I turned into Rita, or when I went back to do what was the name of that movie? Thunder? No. Oops, I forget.
The chat room will let us know.
Okay. Turbo. Yeah. I totally embraced that. I remember Shuki Levy, the producer, called and asked me, because I had been off the show. I had left, which my exit from the show was really lovely. I asked if I could go. I was done. I was ready to go try other things. Yeah. Shuki gave me this beautiful guitar that I have over there, a Gibson guitar. And then he said, and will you do this one movie? We do like 5 more episodes and this movie, Susie Q. And I was like, sure. And then I left. And then he called me about a year later, 2 years later, and said, do you want to come back and do the second movie? And I was like, sure, why not?
Excellent. That's a Nathan, thank you. Great one. And this next one, RK, who absolutely loves your music, so appreciate that. And do you have any plans of releasing any new music or doing more staged shows?
So I've been writing a bit of music during this time, but I've also been playing cover songs for the first time in my life because I've always just written my own music. So I don't know about recording, but I did a couple Stage-It shows. It's called stageit.com, and it's almost like, and I loved it. And so I'm thinking, yes, probably again, RK, maybe this summer I'll just do a random Stage-It show because they're super fun. There's a chat room there where everybody can kind of chit chat before the show. And then, have you done Stage-It, or do you know Stage-It?
I've been hearing about it. I have yet to see one of the events, but it sounds like a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah,
again,
awesome.
Anything that can connect an artist to their audience, I'm all in favor for.
And you know what? And right now, so many people are doing things like this, these online conventions or Stage-It, or because that's the only way we have to actually connect with fans and to supporters and people. Because there are no actual conventions right now, right? Or concerts, or Broadway, or any of the arts is so from our own homes is kind of exciting.
Absolutely. RK, thank you. Great one. And from Casey, being a powerful female icon, do you have anyone you look up to?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people I look up to. I mean, right now, off the top of my head, I'm just thinking of directors that I really admire. Like, I love Jean-Marc Vallée. He did Big Little Lies, and Crazy is one of my favorite movies, and Café de Flore. Oh my God, one of the best movies ever. So in my head right now, what's coming up for me is directors. I know that's not what you asked, Casey, but
no, that's
the guy, and it's
could be a girl. Could be. I know a girl named Casey once, so
No, I mean Jean-Marc Vallée.
Oh, Jean-Marc.
Who do I look up to? Some dude. He's very talented, though.
Absolutely. As well, again, good art is good art.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Casey, thank you. And next we have from Gary, who says, hi, Amy. Hello, Gary. What has been the most unexpected thing to happen along your journey?
I am a very spontaneous person, so I've had a lot of unexpected things along my journey. I've never been, as an artist, motivated by money. So usually the parts I would accept for as an actress were like, where are they shooting? Like, I want to go to Sofia, Bulgaria, or wherever I'm going, Australia, or so I like the adventure. And probably moving my life to Montreal on a whim was probably the most unexpected thing along my journey, which followed through to me becoming a Canadian and a Canadian citizen. That's probably the most, that was never in my radar. That was probably the most unexpected part of my life so far, is that I'm dual. I'm Canadian and American. Crazy.
Indeed. And you'll be voting in this year's American election?
Absolutely, 100%.
Cool. Gary, thank you for that. And our next one from Philip. What do you think the legacy of Power Rangers is? And do you think and was the Pink Power Ranger fun to play?
Oh, yes. Pink Power Ranger was very fun to play. Again, because it was my first role, and I had a blast on that set. What was the first part of that question?
What do you think the legacy of the Power Rangers is?
God, can somebody tell me what it is? Because what is it? We're going on 25 years now from the movie. People love these kids who are now adults, are so loyal, are so generous, are the best fans in the world. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like my daughter never really, I showed her Power Rangers. It wasn't her thing. She's not impressed, guys. But I don't quite know. But I'm going with it, and I'm really proud of it, and very grateful to be a part of the legacy.
From my own observations, and this is my own theory, but one of the things that I admire about the fandom is the way that all the permutations enable everybody to right at that sweet spot of the age. And I'm not sure what age it is, whether I think it's like 4 to 7 or 8. They're able to come on board. There's always one, and there's always characters that they can enjoy as these were my first, and then they continue to explore forward and back. So it's like your first book from a library, and you get hooked on it, and you want to keep going in the library and reading everything else that's in there.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, because there is so much too, right? There's so many seasons. There's so many different casts. It's just like I think they're still shooting.
I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past you know how things work over there way better than I will. So, Philip, thank you for that one. That was great. What's next? From Richard. If you weren't an actress, what would be your dream job? And I'll preface that if you weren't an actress, a musician, or a director.
Oh, that's not fair, Patty, because I was going to say 100% writing and directing. That is my passion. That's all I want to do. More than music, more than acting. I've been in the writing zone for the last month, and I love it, but I love directing. Even more so. Directing just like really makes me really happy.
Well, you definitely have a passion for it. And again, it's I think I'm really interested in seeing where you're going to go directorially. I think you have a very good eye for projects, and everything you've done is very human, which I appreciate. There's no bombast to it. Reminds me a little bit of the Coen brothers, actually, in the beginning of their career.
Love the Coen brothers. Love them. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Yeah, I'm just, growing and learning, and I find that every project I tackle, the learning curve is huge, and there's so much. And I'm writing a love story. It's called Someone.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about it. It's very different from anything I've done, but yet it still has my sort of I like finding sad things and finding the humor around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the human stories, like you said.
They said, well, you're finding the truth in it. And that truth can be expressed humorously. It can be expressed in the heaviest of tragedy. But I like these dramedies that you've been doing.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Hey, Richard, thank you for that question. What we have next? From Gary. What is one aspiration you have not yet explored in your career?
I'm so content right now with episodic television directing. Yeah, and I'm not ready, not for many reasons, but one is that I know that once I dip into that world, there's no coming back, right? Like it's such a machine, and it's such a world. Yes. There's so much amazing television, and I feel like right now I'm honing my skills still, and I'm really staying with the indie features right now.
Gary, thank you for that, and yeah, just to let our audience know, episodic television, whether it's sitcom or hour-long feature, is an incredibly grueling and demanding schedule. It's independent features. You could do a little bit at your own pace. You could certainly explore some quirks on the set, but yeah, you're right. It is a machine to do television.
It
And
is, and you know, unless you've created it and you're the showrunner and you're like, you know, in charge of the look and all that, like again, Jean-Marc Vallée does when he does like Big Little Lies or something like that. That interests me. But just jumping into the well-oiled machine as a guest director, that's a hard gig. Right? Like
absolutely.
it's like walking into somebody else's kitchen and trying to cook.
Yeah, exactly. And right now you're developing your own cooking style in your own kitchen, and I think that's a wonderful place to be in for any filmmaker.
Yeah, I'm quite content right now.
Absolutely. I was like, Gary, again, thank you for that. What's next? From Dan. I know on Mighty Morphin, you did a lot of gymnastics skills. Did you practice those skills during the filming?
We did, actually. We trained a lot. I remember we also made up our own, like, sort of Hollywood martial arts as well. And Jason David Frank was like a lot of help in bridging that gap because he was like the true martial artist. And then and he had to learn how to make it more Hollywood because he was kind of knocking out the stuntmen and stuff, which wasn't a good thing. So we had to kind of make like a hybrid of what was going on because we were non-union, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah, I remember David Yost was a gymnast as well. And Walter could do like these flips that were crazy. So he
was a dancer.
Yeah, an amazing dancer. And he could do really great acrobats or flips and stuff. So yeah, I feel like we were very physical while we were shooting that show because we did a lot of our own stunts.
And there were a couple of times that, as I understand it, there was a few hiccups, shall we say, in filming.
Oh, well, yes. We almost died a few times. Me and David Yoke, our little machine, our switching places machine caught on fire. Me and Austin were hanging over in the volcano, I think the Turbo movie, and this fire shooting up at us. And I was not comfortable with this stunt that we were doing. Like we have gas tanks below us blowing fire right up at me and Austin. I didn't want to do that one. Yeah, it was a pretty hairy. It was non-union. Like that would not happen now. I don't even think that would happen on a non-union set now. There's been
probably not.
Yeah, no, the standards are much higher now. This was 25 years ago, remember.
That's the rules have changed and for the better. So again, Dan, thank you for that. Yeah, what's that from Jeff? Ooh, is there a fandom you would love to see Power Rangers do a crossover with?
Oh, well, my boyfriend really loves the Ninja Turtles, but didn't they do that? They just did that in the comic books. I think they have a Power Ranger Ninja Turtle comic book. They've
done a few crossovers, and I've heard that they're very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, Matt loves. Oh, that's my boyfriend. He he loves those comic books. He's a huge comic book person. I almost said nerd, but that's not nice. He's like, he loves.
We're geeks, nerds. We're if we're not used to it by now, then.
And I've never really known anything about the comic books or any of that. So I just find it kind of funny that the guy that I kind of fall for, and I didn't meet him at a con, guys. I did not, but he loves comic books and the Ninja Turtles. Who knew?
Not at all. Hey, you like him, he likes you, play ball.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you.
Huge Power Ranger fan when he was a kid. No, I'm kidding. He wasn't. He liked the Ninja Turtles. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't really like the Power Rangers. I'm like, that's okay. It's kind of better that way, I think. Okay, all right, moving
on. Jeff, thank you. Great question. All right, moving along. From Jan, have you ever considered doing animation, doing American voiceover acting for American anime?
You know, when I was younger, when I lived in LA, I did think about it because I think it looks like a lot of fun and people make great livings at that. And it's a whole world that's very hard to get into, by the way. But I never went pursued that path. So it doesn't, I don't think so. Yeah. Unless it just fell into my lap. It's not something that I have an urge for.
Voiceover acting now is like going to Narnia. Nobody really gets into it the same way twice.
Oh.
And yeah, it's very much so. And you seem to be enjoying yourself in the Great White North, and most of the work takes place in Texas. So.
Oh, really?
Yes. Most of the work takes place in Texas now. It's where the big companies are out of. Still some work in Los Angeles, but really, yeah, most of the stuff now is recorded in Texas.
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that?
That's just where the companies were originally set up, and because we all know LA is not a cheap place to live for anybody.
Yeah, that's for sure.
By the same token,
that's so interesting. That's fascinating.
By the same token, a lot of talent now is recording out of their homes. So again,
you don't even have to be in Texas. You could just that's the thing. That's why anyway.
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and thank you for that one. What do we have next? From my friend Tia, who's a big fan of yours. There's a long-standing rumor that you dislike the color pink. Is that true? And what color would you have chosen if you were given the choice of a Ranger color?
Oh, I don't know where that rumor came about, because pink actually looks really nice on me.
I agree.
I'm kind of wearing it's not really pink, but what would you call this?
It's an on my screen, a salmon pink, perhaps?
Yeah, salmon-y.
Yeah.
No, I like the color pink. I've heard that rumor too, but it's not true.
All right, there you go. But if you could have chosen a color, though, what would it have been?
Oh, for the Ranger?
Yeah.
For Kimberly? I don't know. A purple, maybe, but I like the pink. Or maybe like a blue. Oh, you know what? I'm really into like a turquoise blue. Man, I don't know, guys. I think I'm fine with the pink.
Pink, but hey, turquoise blue. Like I said, tell you what, we'll ask everybody out there with
salmon.
Right now, we want everybody on social media to do a hashtag alternate Amy Jo colors, and we look forward to seeing your permutations on that. So we're going to turn our pink Ranger into a turquoise Ranger. That would be interesting to see. Tia, thank you for that one, my dear. And what's next? From Ruben, how does it feel to have become a role model for so many girls that are now great women?
Oh, wow. Well, that is just free karma, because it wasn't my intention when I got this job, right? Like, I auditioned for a job and I got it, and it ends up being this character that has really, inspired and helped so many young girls and empowered people. And, as I said, it wasn't my intention in the first place. So I just feel really blessed to have been part of that, and makes me really happy.
Well, thank you, Ruben. Appreciate that. Very good one. And Jeffrey, as a director, what actors would you like to work with?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is a deep well.
So many. Have you seen Fleabag?
Not yet. I know of it. It's on my list, but I've heard good things.
The guy who plays the priest on there, Andrew Scott, I think his name is. He's quite funny. He plays Sherlock, I think. Anyway, I would love to work with him. There are so many. That's Saoirse. I'm saying her name wrong, but from Little Women. And do you know who I'm talking about?
From Little Women.
Terrible with names. From Lady Bird, that girl. I like her a lot.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I've drawn a blank on her name. I apologize.
Saoirse. Anyway, there's a ton in my head as I'm writing someone. I'm sort of casting my dream cast for it and shooting for the moon as I'm writing. And I'm still trying to figure that out. So this terrible answer. There's a lot.
No, not at all. And yeah, I think everybody at the screenwriting stages has a utopian vision of, oh, wow, I can't wait to see De Niro do this on screen, and then as a director, then you really have to work on it too. So no, these are all fair answers, young lady. Absolutely.
Meryl Streep. How about that?
There you go. Jeffrey, thank you. And from Kevin, how do you come up with the lyrics to your music? And what is my favorite song of yours, Fairway? Oh, what is, you have a song, Fairway. What's Fairway about?
Interesting. So usually I used to come up with the lyrics for my songs by journaling. And so that's why a lot of the songs are really sad, because I usually only journal when I'm like being cathartic, writing out sad stuff. Yeah, lately I've written a couple songs and they're so sad. But again, it's almost like how I like to do with filmmaking is taking sad subjects and finding the humor within them. To write a song, I like taking sad subjects and just being sad. Fairway, if I remember correctly, I wrote it a very long time ago, was about that in-between place in your life when you're sort of floundering around in between boyfriends and relationships. I think. I'm so sorry, Kevin, if I just I'm trying to think of the words. Okay, well, let's move on.
No problem. No problem. It was an artistic expression for where you were at the time.
Yeah, I love that song too. It's a fairway of a golf course, right? That big fairway is like
okay.
In between. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Kevin, thank you. What's next? From Amit. That's fine. It's fine. Who loves your short film, The Has Been? It was funny and hilarious. Will you be doing a sequel when the pandemic ends?
Okay. I made this. You can go on my YouTube channel and go into YouTube and put The Has Been. And I made this really fun sort of short about this aging actress who goes bankrupt and has to start doing Comic-Cons, and she doesn't want to. And I just felt like it's quite funny, I think, actually, but I felt like it was mean as well. I was going to develop it into a TV series. And then I'm like, why would I want to make fun of myself? Or like, no, it wasn't me, but it was like a version of myself. But I was like, why am I going to do this? To make a TV series, as we talked before, it would be my entire life for 5 or 6 years. And I just decided I didn't want to spend the next 5 or 6 years playing a has-been. Because I was going to act in it too. So.
Sure. No, that's fine. That's fine.
The project is on hold, but it's out there. You can watch it. I do think it's kind of silly and funny.
We will absolutely add that to the list. So you have a YouTube channel that a lot of stuff is funneled through?
Yeah, I have all my shorts on there, and then the trailers and stuff for my features. But it's Amy Jo Johnson.
So we will absolutely check that out. So, Vendette, well, let's roll another one. From Jake, what was the best part of Flashpoint?
Again, the camaraderie and the friendships. Rico and Rico Colantoni is one of my dear friends. They all are. Excuse me. I just burped.
Okay.
I hope nobody heard that. The Space Between, my first feature, the majority of the cast are my buddies. Michael Cram was on there. He's in there. David Paco, Sonia Saloma. Yeah, again, it's just like the friendships that you make when you're on a set they last a lifetime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Jake, thank you. Great one. What do we have next? From Richard. What would be the one thing that you've never done that you would love to do?
Well, I was supposed to go to Lucca, Italy this summer and they have this massive, amazing music festival. And I was supposed to see Cat Stevens and Ben Harper play in this tiny little venue in well, it's not tiny, but the square in the middle of the town there in Lucca, Italy.
Yeah.
Canceled, of course. But that's on my list. So hopefully next summer or the summer after, I'm going to Lucca.
Absolutely. Richard, thank you. We have another one from Greg. Oh, did you keep anything from the set?
Yeah, no, but I do have my power coin.
Oh.
From the movie. It's in a box downstairs.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only thing. I don't know why. Why wouldn't I take more than that? I think JDF took everything. I think he took his everything. I think he took his, I was going to say his jock strap, but he probably did. He has everything.
Well, he kept going back, so there's more opportunity for him.
Right, that's true. That's true. He got smart.
Indeed. Greg, thank you. From Jason. Oh, what would be your dream location to direct in?
Oh, okay. So my movie, Somewhere, takes place in Newfoundland. And so there, because that's where I'm going to film, and I really want to film there. And yes, Newfoundland.
Nice. Very nice. I think we have time for one more, so I'll ask our producers to pull a really good one from our audience. And Jason, thank you for yours. From Christy. How would you like to see Kimberly's life story continue?
Oh. Okay, you guys, I had this idea. And me and my boyfriend actually have this idea of this. Okay, I'm not going to tell you, but I have an idea.
You have an idea
of what happens to Kimberly and her daughter. Anyway, it's a whole thing that I would love to make and do, but I need the rights from Hasbro.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem, Patty.
You just to put it out there, you could explore that through the comics.
I could actually. I have a whole thing I would love to do with the Boom, but I think the Boom is a little bit. I think they're overwhelmed right now. The comic book world is in distress a little bit right now.
Yeah. Now's
not the time.
It will write itself along with everything else. But
down the road, I have an idea that's kind of
absolutely, yeah. I think we would all be interested in seeing where you take that character, and we are all absolutely interested in seeing what the future brings for you creatively and artistically. And understand this, everybody in the chat room, fans of the Power Ranger, but don't forget that we're also fans of you.
Aww, thank you.
Absolutely. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with Amy Jo Johnson, but it does not have to be yours. If you would like to talk to her like I have, grab a picture, grab an autograph, or get a private chat, please head over to GalaxyCon.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out our schedule of upcoming events just like this one. Amy, before we go, any final words for our audience?
Oh, you know what? You guys, stay safe, stay home, wear a mask. I know we've all heard it, but I'm sitting here in Canada looking at the US going, you guys are not staying home. Stay home and wear a mask and be safe and be kind. And thank you. I love your support.
And we have loved hosting you so much. Thank you, Amy, again for joining us. Thank you to our audience for joining us. And thank you for those great questions. We hope to see you again this afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll be hosting Michael Rooker from Guardians of the Galaxy and The Walking Dead. And later on at 4 o'clock today with the cast of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care and keep washing those hands.